Mohamadou Kante to pretty much any championship club you care to think of has been a rumour which has been doing the rounds over the last couple of days. And I like it, by the way. I think this absolutely makes sense. On loan, should I say, on loan. There was a conversation with a Queen's Park Rangers friend of mine, who, they're one of the clubs that have been linked with him, who asked me, do you know much about this player? And I thought, well, actually I do. But the weird thing was, the conversation then went on to Luis Giller, and I thought, I've seen Kante play more than I've seen Giller play. And that's not good. That's not good at all. Look, primarily we're going to talk about Kante in this one and why I think that's a really, really good loan move for him. Because he's too good for development football. He's too good for under-21s. It's as simple as that. I think Callum Marshall is as well. And I think we'll probably see him go out on loan if he doesn't get much of a chance at West Ham. But it just really highlighted quite how badly I think West Ham had done with Luis Giller. Because I could tell you more about Kante as a player than I can about Giller, because, well, he's just featured more for the under-21s. Now, you remember tail end of last week, before the game against Burnley, Nuno drafted in Kante, Ezra Myers was in again, and Golan Bekis into the first team training group before the game. And Golan Bekis, of course, made it onto the bench for the Burnley game. Very, very highly rated player. Very good player, by the way. But Kante was involved in training, so clearly eyes are upon him. Clearly West Ham know the type of player that they've got. And then when he started getting linked with loan moves everywhere else, okay, absolutely brilliant. But why have I seen him play so much? Well, I've seen him play so much because I've watched the under-21s this season. There's really good access to watch the under-21s on West Ham's the club official YouTube channel. You can go and watch any of the stuff over there. But I thought, well, hold on a second, we've just not seen Luis Giller play at all. I think there's a number of things you could do with Luis Giller. You could play him in the first team. You could have him as a super sub who regularly gets time off the bench. You could sell him. You could send him out on loan, or you can play him in the under-21s. To do none of them is quite extraordinary, really, when you consider how much we paid for this young kid. And it was the sort of thing that West Ham don't do. Go over to South America and get the best, brightest young talent. And it really highlights the failure at West Ham, actually, as much as anything else. The failure of recruitment that we've seen over the last few years, to get a player like that, to spend £20 million on them without any real foresight on how you're going to implement them, how you're going to train them, how you're going to integrate them into the first team eventually, but have some level of plan at least. West Ham have had no plan at all. And I think we're going to see exactly the opposite of that with Kante. For the reasons that I said earlier, I just think he's too good for under-21 level. Now, if you've seen him play and you've seen him, ordinarily you might send young players out on loan to sort of toughen them up a bit or something like that. He doesn't need to go out on loan because of his physicality. He's an absolute beast. He's a monster. He really is. What's he, 6'4", 6'5", very athletic. All that stuff is there. It is just for experience. And I think sending him to the Championship will be a really, really good thing because it gets him... I just think it gets him up at the pace of English football. Now, obviously, Tim Steidten signed this guy. Signed him from, I think it was £500,000 from Paris FC. We loaned him straight back to Paris to start with. He didn't play much for them, and then just towards the end of his time there, he started to get into the team more. He's come over to West Ham. He's playing regularly for the under-21s, and he's brilliant. And West Ham have recognised this. Well, they've recognised it with everyone. Kante's got a contract until 2031, not 3031, as I said when I did the video with Michael. Preston Fearon's had a new contract. Golan Bekis has had a new contract. There's quite a few of them who have signed new deals at West Ham, which I think is really, really good. But the reason that you send a kid, like I say, kid, he's a great twice the size of me. He's a grown-ass man, right? The reason you send a young player like that out to the Championship is because you do have a view that they're going to hopefully perform well, and they will be useful to your first team. There's no better example than we've got one at West Ham at the moment with Freddie Potts. He went out to Wycombe Wanderers, got Player of the Season there in League One. Then the following season, he went out to Portsmouth, got Player of the Season at Portsmouth as well. He's come back. He's had to wait. We played him in pre-season, but the moment we've asked him to play in the Premier League, he's excelled. And I would not put that past Kante to go down to the Championship and be one of the best players. Well, I think he'd be better on the best players in the Championship. That's how highly I rate him. But I think he'd certainly go into whatever club he went to, and they would say, well, West Ham have got some player on their hands here. We heard exactly this with Freddie Potts. We used to, have the inquisitive mind, used to go on to, just sort of look at Portsmouth fan groups and certainly at Wycombe fan groups, and they were saying, highly complimentary things about him. And I think we'd read exactly the same. Wow, West Ham have got a player on their hands here. I really like him. I think he's just a magnificent player. I think he's got everything that we need. He's got a few rough edges. Why would you not have a few rough edges? He's, at that age, he's going to be very, very useful to West Ham's first team. And I think there's a number of the players who are probably going to end up saving West Ham quite a lot of money. I think he'll be one of them. I think Freddie Potts is another. And it just shows the benefit of running your academy properly. But not just running your academy properly, and here's the point, in giving players a chance. Because if I was at that academy now, I'd be looking at that and I'd be thinking, I've just got a chance. I think almost any time before now, if you'd have said to any of the players, well, go out on loan and you'll get your chance, Nuno's going to look to put you out on loan for 6 months and you get a chance in the first team, you're probably not going to believe it. I wouldn't believe it because they would have just sounded like hollow words because there wasn't a pathway to that first team. Now I think, okay, Nuno's going to give me a chance. I know it. Why do I know it? Well, because he's already given starts to Freddie Potts, he's already given starts to Ollie Scarles, he's given starts to Callum Marshall as well. He's put Myers in the first Premier League first team squad on the bench, and then he's put Golan Beckis on the bench. You just... Look, Graham Potter came in and he spoke wonderful, wonderful words about the academy. And to be fair to him, he did put Ollie Scarles in the team. Then he took him out of the team, and then it just stopped. Actually, he did. I think he did give Lewis Orford a little bit of game time against Chelsea. But you get what I'm saying. After a while, and after he'd been here for a long time, you're going to lose faith. You're just going to lose faith that you're going to get your chance. I think he doesn't have to say the words, Nuno. He doesn't have to say, I'm going to give people in the academy a chance. He's already proven it. He's promoted 3 of the bloody academy coaches. The people that these players were working alongside are now in the first team. That in itself is going to give them the hope. When they go into first team training, they're going to recognise some of the coaches. The coaches are going to say to Nuno, oh, he was really good for me. Give him a chance. There is a direct pathway there. And you can say all the stuff. You can print West Ham, the Academy of Football, on everything all around the stadium, but if there's not a pathway there, it really doesn't mean anything. They do turn out to be hollow words. I think you do really, really well. I think this is... Ordinarily, wouldn't get massively excited about a player going out on loan. But I think what accompanied it was the story that loads of clubs want him. This is not a story that the newspapers are going to make up because it gets clicks. It's just not. There's no point making this story up. So I do think it's true. I think he's that good. I think people have seen him at under 21 level. Playing for the development squad, playing in the EFL Trophy as well, where obviously the development squad play against senior League 1 and League 2 teams. And I think people have seen, we've obviously qualified from the group, West Ham to the knockout stages of the EFL Trophy, and I think people would have seen him there, scouts, and if a team in a championship is looking for a player to come in, then he's going to improve most people's teams. I really do think that's the case. Anyway, really, really pleased about that. Before I go, a raffle, a West Ham raffle to win yourself a signed Freddie Potts shirt, a signed Jared Bowen shirt. The third prize is a Hammers Chat bundle. Oddballs hat, Oddballs boxer shorts, West Ham scarf, loads of stuff. Hammers Chat bundle. It's only £1. It's only £1 to enter. We thought we'd do basically an affordable raffle here. So, yeah, the link is in the description below. Go and click on that. Tickets are £1, and you have 3 chances to win. And I think we've given away a couple of Jared Bowen shirts already. I think the signed Freddie Potts shirt is a pretty damn good prize. To be fair, the Hammers Chat bundle's a pretty damn good prize as well. If you buy 4 tickets, you get the 5th one for free. So if you spend £4, you basically get a 5th ticket. And I think if you buy 8 tickets, spend £8, you get another 2 tickets for free. So yeah, there you go. But just £1. I don't know what I've done that. I said £1. That's like £1. That's £1. £1 a ticket. Just for pure clarity, all the money, basically, the first bit of money goes for paying for the signed shirts and all that type of stuff. But once that's gone, the profits do go to Hammers Chat because, as you know, we lost a sponsor relatively recently, so we're just trying to be a little bit creative. But rather than doing the normal £5, we thought we'd try and make this one as affordable as possible. Go and check out the reviews if you want on that raffle. Aside from that, let me know what you think about Mohamadou Kante going out on loan. Maybe you don't think he should go out on loan. Maybe you think he should be integrated into the first team. I can understand that as well. Maybe you think he should stay in the under-21s and be there as a sort of an emergency break glass player that we can call on. But I guess if we got the structure right, I guess if we got a recall clause on it, then there's no reason he couldn't go out on loan. And if things got really, really hairy, really hairy, really sticky and hairy, you don't want to be both of those things, do you? But if it got like that, then we could recall him. But I do want us to go out and still do business in the January transfer window. But I think long term, this will be a really, really good player for West Ham. Signed up on a contract until 2031. He's West Ham's player for more than the foreseeable future. And yeah, I'm really, really pleased to have him. Really rate him as a player.